We have something very, very special. A very generous person sent us a sample of the 13th Colony Double Oaked from this year. As you can see, dark bottle.
Can't wait.
Hi friends, I'm Laura, he's Troy, we're Baker Drinks. We've got a little review of the 13th Colony Double Oaked from this year. We had a sample from Bourbon Riders, very generous. These are basically impossible to come by, so.
Yeah, so from what I understand, it was 3,216 total bottles, limited to 4 states, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, and Arkansas. Mike at Bourbon Riders was fortunate enough to get one. You can check out his channel and he'll tell you the story about how that happened. But out of that bottle, he was super generous. He sent us a full 2-ounce sample for us to review and taste. Really appreciate that. Thanks, Mike. You're a great guy. A little bit about this guy. It is a 10-year-old bourbon. It's 136.8 proof.
Whew, hot.
So super hot. It was available online through Sealbox and Bourbon Outfitter, but I hear they sold out in seconds.
I think, yeah, it was not likely to get a bottle. And I think most people knew that, which is why it was so insane. And a lot of resellers still were able to get it, even though, you know, Bourbon Outfitter said they got rid of their bots and whatnot. As soon as they went up for sale, all these other websites had them listed for $500, $600.
Yeah, so according to Sealbox, the mash bill for this guy was 70% corn, 21% rye, and 9% malted barley. And that's what we know. We don't have a bottle. We just have the sample.
But it is dark. It is oily. I mean, this thing is coating the glass.
Yeah.
The legs are just like not even moving. They're just sitting there halfway down the glass.
It smells amazing. It's like the color of a dark Texas whiskey almost, that just you can't see through the bottle type darkness.
Yeah, so I'm a little nervous about this bottle because it's so generous that he gave us a sample. And I want to love it. I'm just scared that I won't because I don't generally go with double oaked
So historically, you're not the biggest fan of double oak.
Yeah.
And historically, I'm not the biggest fan of craft distillers. But the whole whiskey world is like freaked out about this bottle. You know, I've heard things like bottle of the year.
Bottle of the century or whatever.
Bottle of the decade, bottle of a lifetime. I mean,
yes,
those things are not thrown around lightly by the channels that are claiming them. You know, so I'm excited.
I'm excited, but I am nervous too.
Yeah, let's get in on the nose.
I mean, it's surprisingly fruity to me.
Yeah, so I definitely am getting a lot of ethanol burn in my nose. You don't want to get real close to it.
Well, it's
100. Yeah, it's almost hazmat, right?
Yeah.
But aside from that burn, there's some very deep, dark, rich, like stewed fruits in there.
Yeah, and I'm getting like a sweet oak. Not normally the smell I get on a double oaked. That's usually more like a buttery sweetness. I'm not necessarily getting that. I'm getting more of the sweet oak like I get on like well-aged whiskeys. And so I'm liking the smell a lot because those are like the type of things that I normally like.
It smells kind of dusty.
Yes, but that's not a smell I normally get on double oaked stuff.
No,
it doesn't smell like burnt. A lot of times they smell a little burnt to me. I'm not getting any of that.
Right, but if you like were to take your hyper-aged whiskeys like your Elijah Craig 18, your Knob Creek 18, some of the higher age Pappy stuff, I get that similar barrel note.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain. I may not be putting it into words exactly. He's translating my my struggle with words.
Not trying to speak for you, but
no, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You know what I'm trying to say.
I can't put it off any longer.
Okay.
I gotta taste this.
Let's taste it.
Cheers.
There's a transition.
Wow.
I wish I had a bottle because this one, I think, takes a lot. There's a lot going on. And it transitioned in there. Like the mouthfeel started out just like coating, thick, amazing. And then the flavor was like really dark fruits. And then it like transitioned and I got a lot of that char flavor, like smoky, like campfire type of a note. And it's just, and then it went back into like a sweet oak that's just hanging out. It's very like a sweet vanilla oak. That's what I'm getting on that first tiny little sip. And
so if you're familiar with these 2-ounce sample bottles, you can see we've taken about a fourth of that sample and put it into these. So is that a 1/4 ounce each? I took, like if you were to take an eyedropper and put a couple drops on your tongue, that's how small of a sip I took. And instantly it was everywhere in my mouth all at once. Yeah. That oil just hit every corner, top, bottom, left, right, front, back. I'm still tasting it.
Oh, still going.
This wave of warmth went over my entire head and transitioned into my chest. And again, this is like the smallest sip possible. I'm not sure I swallowed anything. It may have evaporated on my tongue. That's how small it was. But the flavor was so intense.
Yes.
And oily and oaky. If you've ever had a Coy Hill, think along those lines. It's just that mouth experience is like at a next level, you know. And then once all of that heat and intensity and crazy intense flavors start to dissipate, then you get that sweet oak, you get those dark fruits, you get that super, super dark caramel and brown sugar, vanillas. This is a special, special pour. Just
wow, though. I mean,
I can see why the whole whiskey world is gaga for this thing.
So honesty here. We didn't even try to buy this bottle. For one, we thought it wasn't going to be possible, so we didn't waste our time. And for two, we didn't think that we would love it as much as everyone says that they do. So I'm regretting it a little bit. I'm feeling some FOMO now, like I missed out.
Well, there's 4 states of distribution.
And we're not one of them.
Out here on the West Coast, Washington State. It's not in our state. It's not in any adjacent state. It's not in any state adjacent to those. And it's not in any state adjacent to those. So we're several states removed from the distribution. So we knew we would never see it in the store.
Yes.
Sealbox was sending it out or making it available to their Prime members first. I don't really deal with Bourbon Outfitters, so I don't really know a whole lot about their structure. But you knew the whole world was abuzz about this thing before it was released. So you knew it was going to sell out instantly. And I mean, we were having conversations online with some of our friends that it sold out from Sealbox in under a minute. And within that same minute, Wooden Cork had it listed online secondary for $1,000. So it's not a bottle that I was even remotely considering. And then just out of the blue, Mike from Bourbon Riders is like, hey, you guys want a sample of this?
I know.
And we're like, absolutely. Thank you very much. And again, I was expecting it to be good.
I don't feel like I can give this I mean, maybe my difficulty with it is enough of a review to say how amazing it is. Reach out to people, make lots of friends. I mean, that's all I can say.
I've been rambling.
A sample would be, it's worth an experience.
Yeah, I've been rambling a couple minutes. I have not taken a sip in that time. I still feel it in my chest. I still feel it in my mouth. It's transitioning into those baking spices now, like almost like a sweet cinnamon that I'm starting, like when I breathe, I'm tasting it like I was eating red hot candies.
It's just, wow.
I mean, What else can you say? If you have an opportunity, I think it was $200 retail was what Sealbox was charging. I don't know what Bourbon Outfitters was charging.
I think it was about the same.
So quite a jump in price from last year's to this year's. I think last year's was maybe under 100, like $80. I don't even remember. This has been so far out of our radar that I know very little about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to do a little research now.
And I honestly think it's on our to visit list as well.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have ever put Georgia as a state on that. I want to take a vacation there, but now I do.
Yeah.
I do.
We're gonna hit Kentucky. We're gonna jump on over there to Georgia, Alabama area. We're gonna crash on Sean from Echoes and Eternity's couch, and we're gonna visit all of these places that he tells us about, including 13th Colony.
We'll just have to knock
You
on his
don't know
door.
that yet, Sean, but we're gonna come visit.
Hello.
Yeah.
Got roof.
Anyways, again, Mike, Bourbon Riders, check them out if you haven't already. Thank you so much for this just generous sample. I mean, 2 ounces out of that bottle.
And we're going to enjoy it several times because we'll probably just pour these tiny little splashes and sit with them for a long time, because I think that's what this kind of a bottle is. It's not, there's no taking gulps out of this. This is just a sip, savor, and enjoy.
Yes. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Have a great day.
That is so intense. Wow.
Oh.